but everybody's staring for days. All they see is just a young, pretty face. But I'm trying to get to know you much better. Don't matter how much time it will take, but there's something you're trying to hide. There's something you're keeping inside. But I'm trying to get to know you much better. Don't matter how much time it will take.
Hello and welcome to I Am That Girl podcast. My name is Marquetta DeVille, and today we have a very special guest. As you know, on I'm That Girl podcast, we have candid conversations with inspiring women who are doing amazing things in their prospective fields. And today I am on with none other than Miss Elnora Harris. Hello, Elnora.
Hello, hello. How are you today?
I am amazing. How are you?
I am doing fabulous. I'm so thankful to be here and to join I'm That Girl podcast.
Yay! We are so happy to have you. It's been a long time coming to get you on. You're so busy with all the great things you have going on. And I just want to jump right in. How about you?
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Awesome. So if you can just give our listening audience a brief bio. Well, let me give my nuggets that I know about you, but I'll allow you to go into depth with it. How does that sound to you?
Sounds wonderful.
Awesome. So, audience, today, as I mentioned, we have Miss Elnora Harris joining us. Miss Elnora is a wife, a mom, first lady of her ministry. She's also a serial entrepreneur and CEO and founder of Our Reflections toothbrush brand. So she is doing amazing things in the community across the U.S. She might even be international by now, but we'll let you kind of give us a little bit more of who you are, Elnora, and the amazing things that you've accomplished.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. So, yes, I am the owner of Our Reflections Global, as well as Soar Balloons N More. So I am a serial entrepreneur. I have those two businesses. And then I also have a third business working with students at risk, and that's special needs students. So by trade, I am a special education teacher. I've been teaching for over 20 years, and that is my passion, helping students that are in special ed kind of navigate through the system and helping parents take ownership of their child's education. But Our Reflections is why we're here. Our Reflections is something that is taken off. It was a God idea. When I tell you it was a God idea, it started with me watching my daughter, who was 10 at the time, brushing her teeth with a JoJo Siwa toothbrush. Nothing's wrong with this icon, pop star icon, but I just wanted to know, why can't she have someone that looks like her first thing in the morning in her African-American house? And so that's how the idea came. I am the first African-American to create a toothbrush line specifically for children of color that has their characters on them. And so I'm just excited to be able to share it with the kids. The reactions from the children have been over the top amazing, which lets me know that this was definitely God's idea.
Amazing. And we are super excited. Like I said, this business has, as your other business said, soared. And man, oh my gosh, it's so true. A lot of times we buy our kids the Mickey Mouse, the JoJo Siwa, as they get older, we want to inspire them. But I feel like your brand basically affirms the children as well. They get to know that they can be amazing too. And so, which leads me, you kind of went over your passion of why this toothbrush brand got going. Being a mom, you just saw a need in your own household, and you ran with it, right?
Absolutely. I had this idea in January of 2021 when I first saw her brushing her teeth. And because I'm a crafter and I like to do things, and the other business allows me to kind of be very creative, I tried to figure out, well, how can I do this toothbrush myself? How can I do something just for her? And just to show you, and I've not shown this before, so you get the first, I
Yeah.
actually tried to create a prototype. I went to the
Oh,
dollar
nice.
store, made got this little toothbrush, got some little stickers, tried to make it myself. I said, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? I can do this. I can do this. And at that point, I know with hygiene, and you want to make sure things are safe. I just began to do a lot of research on
Mm-hmm.
how I can do this, how I can be able to safely make toothbrushes with characters that resemble children of color, and provide that to them. And so I went on this quest. God began to really navigate the whole path. He began to connect me to the right people. And a year later, God just completely blew my mind, allowed me to produce both electric and manual light up toothbrushes.
Nice.
Thousands came from overseas. I became not only an entrepreneur, I became an importer of goods. I became a manufacturer. I'm like, Lord, you just put all kind of titles on me because of your one
Right.
God idea.
Right. Oh, that's so amazing. Even the word says where there's vision, God will make provision, right? So that's just an amazing story. And I am super excited. And I've had the honor to actually watch your journey. Like, you were amazing before our reflections, but you took that same passion and put it into this brand. And man, it has been amazing to watch your journey. I am so proud of you. And I just like, oh my gosh, you give little girls like you and I the inspiration to know, like, it just takes you one to have faith,
Mhm.
and believe that if God gave you the vision, He'll follow through. You just have to know
Absolutely.
your part and do your part, right? So, which
Absolutely.
leads me into your next question I would like to ask today. What has your journey been like pursuing this passion of yours?
I share often that God really is my business partner. So when
Mhm.
I am faced with the next thing that I need to do, I seek the heart of God. I'm praying, and the Lord will wake me up, and He deals with me like this. He'll get me up very early in the morning, and we'll have a strategic meeting. When I tell you we
Mhm.
have strategic meetings about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and He'll tell me what to do for that day, how to strategize, how to market, who to contact. And every time I'm obedient and I follow
Mhm.
through with what he says, my goodness, it just comes to fruition just as he showed it to me at 2 or 3 o'clock that morning. God will just do it. And so, having my ear towards him is what's
Mhm.
allowing me to take all the steps, make all the connections, make all the deals that's taking place. It's because I have my ear towards God. And if he doesn't tell me, if he doesn't give me the directions, I will hold still. I will stand down until God tells me what to do next.
Oh my God. I feel like running up. We didn't get on to for me to leave the camera in
No,
excitement,
don't
but
leave, don't
your
leave.
story is just like so phenomenal. So many times when we get into business, we kind of lose focus on the founder. And so for your business to be so, you know, spiritually based and you haven't lost focus of how you got there and you still understand that God has to go through this journey with you. That is
Absolutely.
amazing. um Look,
It's a faith walk.
it
We
is.
say that we have faith. We say that we have faith, but faith comes with action. So if you're listening to God and you have this faith and this hope and this thing that you cannot see, then you just need to do it. Just as God we're out in the boat, and Peter stepped out and was like, hold up, I'm going to drown. It was the faith that kept him, because he's like, I know, Jesus is not going to let me He's not going to let me drown. So
Right.
me jumping into this toothbrush company, which I have no oral care background, I am
Mm-hmm.
not a dentist. I don't know, but God took that thing. In your weakness is when you're made strong. So this is an area that I'm not familiar with, but because I trust Him,
Mm-hmm.
He guides me. And so I'm walking on water. Every time I do
Right.
something, every move I make, and even with resources, I'm like, God, where am I coming up? How am I going to get all these thousands of toothbrushes from China over here? God will make provisions, like you've already mentioned, because I'm just walking one step at a time, and He will come through with people sewing into the business, checks coming in the mail that I had no clue about. God will just do it. If you guys really knew, one day you're going to hear the full story, of how God has brought me through this whole journey. And it is like a wow thing. Like, that it was God holding my hand and walking me every step of the way.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I got chills. I got chills. Oh gosh. Thank you for that. I don't even know. Look, I'm like, okay, interview over. She didn't kill the game, dropped the mic, told us what we need to do.
You
Okay.
know, well, let me just also share this, because you and your husband Greg have also been such great supporters. I remember when I first launched it at my 50th birthday party. I said, "You
Mm-hmm.
guys, we had a video and I had a website. That's all I had. I had the name of the business, and I shared it and launched it at my birthday party, saying, 'Hey, you guys, this is what God gave me to do. I know what He's going to do.' I didn't have a toothbrush. I didn't have anything."
Right.
And you and your husband sowed a seed into our reflections, and that seed has multiplied many, many times over. So I want to just thank you and Mr. Greg DeVille for just believing in me.
Oh, thank you so much. You got me when anything cute come about. So it I'm like, oh, cute. Like, yeah, I need 3 or 4 of those. No,
Right.
but we also believe in you, and we believe in your passion, and your faith base, and so anytime you plant a seed, Greg often tells a story about a lemon tree that his dad was eating a lemon one day, and his dad told him to go and just plant the seed in the backyard. And that was probably over 50 years ago. And every time we drive into LA, he gets to look in the backyard of the house that he grew up in, and that tree today is still producing lemons. So
Hallelujah.
anytime you plant into good soil, you it's
Hey,
going to
you better
produce
preach.
years to come. So just watching you has totally been a blessing. You've included our grandson in the marketing for our reflections. So make sure you guys check out baby on our reflections.
Yes, yes, he did a great job. My little model. He
Yes.
did great. He did great. He's been now featured in different magazines and other podcasts, so he's getting out there.
We appreciate it. He up for all the tasks. He like, oh, I get to take a picture. Oh, put me on TV. Oh, he is his
Right.
papa's grandson. Let's just say that.
Oh, too
So a
cute.
lot of times in business, people see, like, we were lucky. We were what's the word I want to use? We had the pleasure of actually watching your journey, from having a vision to just putting it out there to friends and family. You were very strategic in this journey of who you invited. You were like, I invited certain people to this party because I'm making an announcement. So we've been able to kind of watch your journey. But through your journey, and the journey of many entrepreneurs, we don't always know the full story, right? And so of course every good journey comes with its storms, because you
Absolutely.
you got to go through, right, sometimes. And so sometimes it's just the hurdle of getting over you. believing that you can do it, believing that the resources are going to come, believing that the support is going to come. So if you could just tell us some of the hurdles that you were able to overcome in your journey, as to how you got from the vision to where you are today, having a record-breaking year with our reflections just a year in, right? What
Right.
were some of the hurdles you had to overcome throughout your journey?
So one of the first things that came to mind is, when I say I'm an importer of goods, knowing how to navigate that whole process. I didn't know, I didn't know that there were certain things that you needed to have, certain businesses and collaborations you needed to have to get your items from overseas. And so the first hurdle was when my manufacturer was like, all of your 20,000 plus toothbrushes are ready to be shipped. Who is your your freight operator? Like, there's a term that they use, but who is that person? Who is that, that business that's your freight forwarder? That's what it is, your freight forwarder. And I'm like, a freight forwarder? What is a freight forwarder? Now, they knew that this was new to me. They was like, well, you have to have a freight forwarder in order to, have your items shipped. They have to make the contact with our people, and then it gets on the barge, the big ship, in the containers and shipped over. I was just like, oh my gosh. It's always something, and that I have to learn. And so I went on this quest, this research, joined Facebook groups for some freight forwarders, because I didn't know. So that was the biggest hurdle. And God led me to the right freight forwarder that I needed to be able to get my items shipped over. So once it goes through the freight forwarder, making the contact, then it has to get to port. So I'm thinking, okay, I accomplished that mission. We got the freight forwarder. My stuff is coming over. Oh, hold up. You're not done yet. Because now you need a broker. You need a broker, a bondsman that will be at the port, that will be able to sign off and release your stuff to come. And then because you're dealing with toothbrushes, it has to go through FDA clearance. I was like, what? Nobody told me that. So good thing that the Lord gave me the right freight forwarder that was able to have all those departments and was able to continue that. So going through the process, now they're at the port, they're sitting there because my bonds person need to go and clear them off the ship and then transport them from Los Angeles port all the way to Las Vegas. So this was when I tell you, I was like, look, I'm about to give up. I don't think I can do this no more, because this is not only causing so much anxiety, but it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money to be able to, you had this piece, you had to pay for that freight forwarder. That's not no small change, okay? Now you have this piece over here. You got to get your bond, and you have to get your person to insure your stuff coming out. You got to pay for that piece right there. Now you have to ship it or have it travel from California all the way to your front door. That's another cost right there. So then after we did all of that, they're sitting in Las Vegas at a warehouse. And I am like, it's supposed to have been delivered. It was supposed to have been delivered like a week ago. And now it's still stalled. When I tell you, my faith was being challenged at that point. I mean, this is the stuff people don't understand and they don't know, because I keep it rosy. Right. But, oh my gosh. I was like, am I not going to get my products? I finally got them from China over here. So then going through the FDA clearance, it had to be FDA approved. And I'm thinking, well, I got a manufacturer that covers all the certifications. They do a lot of work in the United States with big brands that we use every day, probably in stores. So I know they're approved. Whew, it was almost cutoff time. It was almost quitting time for the drivers. I'm sitting here back and forth with the freight forwarding and all these people, just back and forth with text messages, transferring funds. We didn't see it, transferring, wiring money all over the place. Finally, in the last minute, before the last driver left, they were able to say, you're cleared, you're FDA approved, your shipment will arrive in a couple hours. I was just like, oh, finally. That was the most difficult part. There's been other things, but that right there was the most challenging because I didn't know. It's that unknown, and you have to
Right.
find your way. You don't,
Right.
I didn't get taught that. I didn't, I didn't take business classes. I didn't know about international, import and export stuff and trade. I didn't know. So I had to learn that. But God just kind of walked me through it gracefully. He was like, I got you. He's speaking to me in that soft, but I'm like, Lord, you see what's going on? I'm stressing. It was crazy doing that time.
Oh,
It came on over and I got him.
Oh, well, praise God for that. Awesome.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, a lot of times we don't get to hear. And I like to share the struggle in the process because it helps so many understand, like, you're not alone. You're not the first. You won't be the last. There's hurdles in this. It's not going to just happen overnight. And so we just have to endure and keep our faith. So that's amazing. I'm so glad that that journey didn't allow you to just totally give up. It said, girl, keep pushing. Don't forget who you got on your team. And it's funny because it's like working out, right? When you go work out by yourself, you might give up. But if you got a partner or you're taking kickboxing classes now, you are not gonna walk out and let these people know that you stopped mid-train. So it's amazing to have God because he's always on time.
Absolutely.
Call me at 11:59 or 2:10 in the morning and I'm gonna answer type of God, right? So thank God for the God that we serve.
Absolutely.
Ooh. Yes. So we've gone through how you got started and we've gone through the obstacles of just being in business. And as your journey continues, now you kind of get some of the glory in your yes and the glory in continuing to say yes to your passion. So tell me what it's like when you've shipped that toothbrush out. Now the order's been placed, you ship the toothbrush out and you get that video or you get that picture from mom or dad as the kid just lights up because finally there's somebody on the toothbrush that looks just like them.
When I tell you, my heart melts and I feel emotional every time a parent shares a video or a picture of their child using a toothbrush, and to see their initial reaction, it just lets me know you was obedient and you did what God said, because he knows what our babies need. He knows what society needs. He knows what kids around the world need. And so every time I get that, it just feels like it's a first again. Even though I've gotten several, pictures and videos, every time I get one, it's like a first, like, oh my gosh, this is what it's all about. It is, to me, it's all about the children. It's all about them making that connection with someone that looks like them. I just, to share my little testimony growing up, I'm a dark-skinned girl. I'm a dark-skinned girl. But I embrace my dark-skinnedness. So to have characters that look like me and my skin tone reaffirms that I am beautiful. It reaffirms for those kids that you're beautiful. You don't have to look like the Disney Cinderella or the Brats, whoever. You can look like Nora with your puff balls and be beautiful. You can look like John with your fro, rock that fro, and be just as handsome as you want to be. And the other thing, that the caveat with our toothbrushes, is that we put a little slogan on there. We want to motivate our children. So like for the John on there, we have brush it and crush it. We want to give them some affirmations in the morning when they're brushing their teeth, that I sparkle, I'm beautiful. And so to have children react to the toothbrushes and the way that they have is just mind-blowing, and it's overwhelming, and I love it, and I get emotional and tears fall. My babies are like, Mama, you crying again? I'm like, yes, look at this. I just got some tags on Instagram just a couple days ago. Someone in DC bought a bunch of toothbrushes. They did a Jack and Jill
Mm-hmm.
event for kids, and it was focused around dental hygiene. And she just so happened to see my Instagram page and was just like, oh my God, I need those toothbrushes. And she sent me pictures of the event and, you know, of some of the kids that had their toothbrushes, and they were just too excited.
Oh, that is
It's been good.
amazing. It has to warm your heart. I can remember working at Lens Crafters, and every time a little girl that or a little boy would get their first pair of glasses, like I dealt with so many clients, but it's just something about the babies and you're solving a problem in their life. Like they
Yes.
can't see well, or they have a toothbrush, but the toothbrush never looks like them. It never affirms them. So we thank you for just again your yes in this call, because if you're who knows when something like this would have ever launched for our babies, but it was your time. You were in the right hour, the resources were there, and you, oh gosh, it has been amazing. I have the toothbrush just to keep it on my counter, like my friend made that.
Oh,
The
yes,
kids are like,
yes.
we use that. No, you have yours. I gotta keep this one. So it's a proud moment. It's a proud moment to say
Thank
I know
you.
the owner of our reflection, who is putting diversity into the dental community. So
Yes.
I can't say it enough how proud we are. Like we
Well,
just love it.
thank
We
you.
love what you're doing. We support what you're doing. We're so glad that our grandchildren get to be a part of the journey. They get to brush their teeth. And what I love about the toothbrushes is, so for us, which I'm not sure if that's what the light was about, but for us with the kids, that's how we kind of teach them to brush their teeth. We're like, when the light goes off, you've done an amazing job, and now you can stop
Absolutely.
brushing your teeth. So,
Absolutely. They are the light up timer toothbrushes to continue to teach kids. You need to brush until the light goes off. So you guys are doing an excellent job because they want to brush 2 times, they done.
right,
No, we need you to brush as long as you can because that's what the oral high care or oral hygiene is all about. The dentists tell you, for especially adults, we need to brush 2 minutes. But
right.
kids, because they don't have that long of attention span, 60 seconds. Brush for
Hmm.
60 seconds, and then you're done. You're done.
Right.
I'm also
Amazing.
very thankful for even the dentists that have jumped on board supporting our reflections. I have a community of dentists that are like amazed by the toothbrushes. They love it. They've purchased some for their office, have some wanting to be investors. So it's good. It's all good.
Awesome. That is amazing. I know we met your local dentist, and we've watched your journey. So we've seen you from as far east as the US goes to as far west, just
Yes.
doing it. So I don't want to hold you. I know you do have teaching to get done this morning. So it's one question that I ask every guest that comes on I'm That Girl podcast, which is hosted by DeVille Realty Group, of course. But we're here to inspire and just help change the mindsets of young women, young girls on this platform. So if I could ask you one question before we get out of here today, what would you tell the younger you?
What would I tell the younger youth? Being that I am an educator, I want to let them know that you can put your mind to doing whatever you want to do. Do not let family, friends, or those that are around you stop you from your quest. They might not see your vision. God gave you the vision. He didn't give it to them. So they're not going to always jump on board, but you pursue. You pursue your destiny, you pursue your calling, and you pursue your God given destiny for why you're here. What is your why? And just go after that, and don't let anyone stop you, whether they're, thinking, oh, that's too big of a goal to have. That's too much. How are you going to do it? Take that as fuel and run with it, because your yes is right there. Your yes is in front of you. So I just encourage those
Amen.
babies to go forward.
Oh, you just encouraged me. I'm like, oh, what else do I need to do? No. But
Yes.
it's so important for our babies to understand that that whatever your God-given gift, whether people understand it or not, you have to follow through, because God gave the vision to you, and it's yours. It's your baby, like you said. It's, a lot of times as grandparents, we want to say, oh, no, don't give your baby this. You need to do it this way. But you figure it out, right? As moms, I know my mom, she wanted to step in all the time, and she's like, I'm like, look, your baby. And I had to figure it out. So I mean, it's great to have the feedback from your friends and family on your journey, but just know everything is not for you. You got to take what's for you, but you
Mhm.
still have this journey that you have to go on, because God gave it to you. So amazing.
Absolutely.
Today has been just uplifting. I'm ready to go out and conquer the world for the
You
rest
got
of
this, girl.
my life.
You got this.
But I do not want to get off without you telling our audience today how they can stay in touch with you, how they can get more information on our reflections, however they can stay in contact with you and learn more about your brand, or even support the brand.
Awesome. Yes. So one of the things, you can go to ourreflections.com. That's ourreflections with an S.com. Starting today, I am launching a 30% off discount code for toothbrushes. So if you've not had it and you've been waiting, 30% off for Easter. We need to stuff those Easter baskets, stuff them with a toothbrush. You got all that
Right.
candy. They need to brush after they eat all that candy, right? So stuff
Yes.
it with a toothbrush. You get 30% off today. The flyer will go up on my page, but the discount code is RISEN, because Easter is all about Jesus, right? So
Right.
RISEN23 is the discount code. You can also follow me on Instagram at ourreflections_official, as well as on Facebook, Our Reflections Official. So those are the ways to reach out to me. Also, my personal page, Elnora Harris, inbox me, and we can get some things done. But I do sell toothbrushes by the case, by a small bundle, in bundles, or individually. But hit me up. Hit me up.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. It has been a pleasure just diving in and getting more information on our reflections, the journey, how it got started. So many blessings to you and your family and your business. And we pray that the fountains of overflow just keep flowing in your life,
Amen.
because
I
you are so
receive it.
deserving.
Thank you. I
And
receive
thank
it.
you. So, thank you, listening audience, for tuning in to I Am That Girl podcast, hosted by DeVille Realty Group. We look forward to inspiring you on this platform, and you can catch us each and every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Today was a special broadcast that had to be postponed, but nevertheless, we will be back next Tuesday at 5 p.m. So make sure you like, share, and comment. Invite a friend to listen in to I'm That Girl podcast, where we have candid conversations with inspiring women doing amazing things in their perspective fields. Again, my name is Marquetta DeVille. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Marquetta DeVille or at I'm That Girl podcast. Until we meet again, you have a blessed week. And we look forward to seeing you on again soon.